right, welcome all you wildly wondrous, wide-eyed, and whimsical men and women of the World Wide Web. You have found your way to Cacophony Live, and I am speaking with the living legend, Marky Ramone. I don't know what the protocol is. Do I bow? Do I genuflect to punk royalty? What's the status quo here?
I would just say, thank you guys for inventing punk New York City at CBGB's, and Johnny and Tommy did, and then I took over Tommy's place, and the rest is history. Then it went on to England. They picked up on it, LA, and then it started all over the world, in Mexico, Japan, Argentina, Brazil. There's so many I can't even remember, So if it wasn't for them, who knows what music would be like, at that point, what it would have turned into.
I wanted to talk a little bit about, you getting started, but before the Ramones, I mean, you had a pretty robust music career prior to that with the Voidoids, Wayne County.
County, Richard Hell and the Voidoids, the Ramones. I auditioned for the New York Dolls.
Right.
So you could say I was in demand.
I think that would have been a dynamic change to the Dolls had you played for them.
Yeah, the Dolls were basically steeped in rhythm and blues, and they had a punk flavor to them. But when the Ramones sound came out, nobody heard anything like that, because it was just downstrokes, not up and down, downstrokes, eighth notes that filled the gap. There was no stops. It was like a wall of sound.
Would you say that is like the trademark for punk at this point, is like 3 chords on the downstroke, garage tuning, like raw sounding? Like, is that really like the prototype henceforth from the Ramones? Would you consider that for punk?
Well, I don't think any guitar players really can play like Johnny Ramone, or Dee Dee and sing like Joey, but they had a vision. It was just downstroke, fill in the gaps, count off each song from the beginning. No talking, no time for water, no, just continuous and energetic assault. So that's what they were. Yeah, and that's the Ramones, let alone not just the sound, the lyrical content, which continued to the end. So we influenced a lot of bands. I mean, I can name 3 right now: Green Day, Rancid, Misfits, all these bands, Mike Ness and his band, and even Nirvana, and Pearl Jam. So we were very grateful that there were bands and individuals that liked what we were doing.
Yeah. Would you say that, based on your career, not necessarily the career of the Ramones, but your career as a musician, which had the bigger impact on you coming up? Was it Max's Kansas City, or was it CB's?
It was CBGB's.
CBGB was the biggest impact on your personal career.
A personal? Well, I played Max's with Richard Hell in Wayne County, and then we moved over to CBGB's, because that was the place to really go. And in '75, I played there with Wayne, and then with Richard Hell in '76, and then later on with the Ramones. I think I played there twice with them.
Gotcha. So
then the Ramones got too big to play CB's, because there wasn't enough room to house the people that wanted to come see us, and we cared about our audience. We didn't want them cramped in like sardines. So then we started playing larger places to, have the people feel more comfortable in the environment, and they had room to mosh.
Yeah.
And have fun,
So '78, you pick up for Tommy, and you're part of some groundbreaking albums at that point. You're a part of End of the Century and Road to Ruin and Subterranean Jungle, all these great albums. Do you have a favorite album that you played with the Ramones?
Well, let me get off that subject. I like the Blank Generation with Richard on the Voidoids. That's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, going on to Road to Ruin. That's my favorite album that I'm on. And the Phil Spector album was fun. It was an experiment. It was okay, but I liked Pleasant Dreams better. And Singing Jungle I didn't like. But then when I came back in the band, I liked Brain Drain and I liked Mondo Bizarro.
I like
So
Brain Drain.
those are my favorite albums. The ones Tommy did, I like Rocket to Russia and the first album.
Sorry, you took part in a pretty cool 4-part documentary a few years back on Epics called Punk. And it was narrated by Iggy Pop, and it had all different kinds of elements. Danita Sparks from L7 and the Bad Brains were interviewed. You were interviewed for it. One of the cool things that I liked about that special was, and I watched it with my kids to try and kind of give them a breakdown of what daddy listens to, right? So I watched it with my daughters and my son. And one of the things that I loved is that it broke punk down into like 4 quadrants of sound, whether it was Detroit, New York, England or DC. One of the things that stuck out to me was the MC5 and like the Detroit sound. And you actually piggybacked off of that in the post documentary speaking forum that was videotaped. That you were saying that there would be no Ramones without the MC5. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? How did you discover the MC5?
Well, I don't remember saying that. Where did you hear that?
You actually said it to Johnny Rotten. You said there would be no Ramones without the MC5, and there would be.
I said that. You talk a lot. You do the talk, but you don't do the walk like the MC5. That's what I said to him. We weren't influenced by the MC5. Well, they were garage bands. They were at the time they were tagged garage bands. They didn't really play fast like the Ramones did. I mean, we liked them, and we liked the Stooges, and but when you listen to the first Ramones album, there's really no other influence, just what they conjured up.
Yeah.
They're 1, 2, 3, 4 eighth note downstrokes, and nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing that. And don't get me wrong, we like those Detroit bands, and that's what I said to Johnny Rotten, that there'd be, if it wasn't for Malcolm McLaren, and if it wasn't for the Ramones and the New York Dolls and all that other stuff, you'd be doing fish and chips somewhere. You know what I mean?
Did you guys ever bury the hatchet after that, or did you guys kind of just go separate ways?
I don't want to know the guy because he's just. He doesn't know when to shut it off. He's a sensationalist.
Yeah.
He doesn't know when to say, "Hey, all right, let me be me now." He always has to create some kind of sensationalism. And I was ready for it. Nobody else on that panel, they didn't say word because I guess they were afraid. I was the only one that spoke up against him. And look, the guy was drunk. I felt kind of bad for him. I had my days too. But to try to take over the whole panel, I thought that was wrong. So I said and that was it.
Yeah, that was a fun watch. Those 4 hours of that documentary, really, it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to stuff that I hadn't thought about or even realized in a while. And I loved your part in it. I want to talk now a little bit about what you're doing these days. I mean, you're with Sirius. You have Marky Ramone's for First Wave Blitzkrieg. And
the other one. There's 2 channels. I have a 24-hour channel 7 days a week on the internet on 7. It's just punk 24/7. Then I have the First Wave Blitzkrieg. That's twice a week, but with a rerun on the next week. So it's 4 times a month that I play what I choose to play on punk. So that's the First Wave Blitzkrieg on channel 33. The other one I think is 9/12 and 9/14.
Gotcha. So yeah, so that the app, the Sirius XM app, has your 24-hour station.
Yeah, you go to that, just print in my name, you can find out all the info.
So is that really kind of like the impetus for the Holiday Blitzkrieg tour, or were they not?
I did 40, a little more than 40 songs. It's become a yearly thing now at the Gramercy Theater in New York City. But I wanted to start because I just got back from Italy, did a tour there in South America. So I kind of want to hit more of the American spots. So after the Gramercy, and before the Gramercy, we're playing New Jersey at the Stone Pony, and then we're going to do the Gramercy in New York, then the Ardmore Theater, which is great. I love it there. And then after, and then we're doing Daryl's Place, which everybody wants to play. I mean, no matter how small of a group you are, or even how large your name is, people want to play there.
Yeah.
I want to play there because I hear so much about it. So I want to see. I heard it's just like a club off the side of the road or something, So I want to, might remind me of CBGBs.
Those are always the best places.
Yeah, I like big festivals. I like venues, but when you play the smaller places, you have the contact. And in every venue you play, you learn more about what to do and how to control yourself up there. Well, not really control, how to play to the audience differently than you would to a club. It's a lot. Say you have 20, 30,000 people. It's different than playing in front of 700, 800. So you learn different things.
So that show has a special place in my heart. I've seen it a few times in my life. But one of the most memorable moments was 2019 at the Gramercy. And what made that special for at least me was I have my littlest girl is your quintessential riot girl. She's into all of Daddy's punk records and stuff. And
oh, thank you.
I took her to the Gramercy to see your show. But on the way up from Jersey to the city, she got terribly sick in the car. Terribly sick.
You went through the tunnel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we only made it in for the last 5 songs. So we had paid for the tickets and drove all the way up from practically Cherry Hill, New Jersey. We get up there. She's sick as a dog. We get in for 5 songs. And at the end of the night, we got close enough to the stage and you handed her a drumstick. And I have a picture of her, and she just looks worse for wear. She had like a 2-hour drive up the turnpike, but she's holding your drumstick and she's doing the horns. And like, that was like as many times as I've seen the show, seeing her be lit up over just 5 Ramone songs was like highlight. And I've had some
imagine if she went to the 40.
Yeah, right. So she's demanding. So I planned on being in attendance anyway next week at the Ardmore right outside of Philadelphia. Good. And she's demanding that she gets a second shot. She's like, out of 40 songs, I only got 5 the last time. So you better take me with you. We're going to see.
I'll give her another drumstick.
Fair. Listen, man. So talking about the Holiday Blitzkrieg tour, who do you have playing with you? I know that you have one of the guys from Bad Religion, and who else is playing with you? Can you break that down for me?
No LA punk people.
No LA.
I have people from Argentina, and I have one from Spain.
Okay.
So they're really good. We've been doing it for 3 years already. We keep being back, and they really, really, really know what it's all about. The songs, how to play, and they're able to do it easy. So I'd rather pick somebody like that. I don't care where anybody's from, as long as they're able to do the songs and they understand the concept of what this music's about, and they do. So yeah. I'm very, very proud of them.
Is there anything that you're doing on this tour that you haven't done before from the Ramones catalog? Anything that like
songs?
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing doing touring. We haven't done that. We're doing, of course, New York. That's the latest song we did. And we're doing Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight, amongst the 40 or so songs that we are playing. So, so hold on for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
And that's it. We like to incorporate things that are newer. And I just recorded 3 new songs. We're going to put out an EP in I got 3 months. I did Keep on Dancing by the Gentrys.
Okay.
Did It's Not Unusual by Tom Jones. And we're going to do Octopus's Garden by the Beatles, Ramone style.
Oh, it's going
And
to be
it
so
works.
cool.
It works. So they're positive songs. Octopus's Garden's positive. Keep on Dancing's positive. New York, New York's positive. So it's a really cool concept EP.
Very cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that. When you were overseas earlier this year, you bumped into a band that I had just spoken to a couple weeks ago called Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band. They're a three-piece blues rockabilly band, and they had posted a picture with you on Instagram, and it was just like worlds collide because I had known
Did they play with me?
No, well, I think they played at the same festival as you in Amsterdam.
Amsterdam? No, we didn't do a festival.
Netherlands. I have to double. I have to quality check that after this. But they were overseas with you. We're not with you, but they were playing at the same function as you. And they're cool, like a rockabilly kind of like a sound. They remind me of like a Social Distortion. It's a three-piece band. They got like a washboard on stage. It's really cool, man.
So Social Distortion plays with a washboard now?
No. This Reverend Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band. No, that'd be interesting to see Social Distortion with a washboard. Who are you listening
Mike Ness up there playing. Playing a washboard.
Who do you listen to now? Where are you finding inspiration from now in this day and age?
I don't find inspiration. I like to listen to I go back. I like to listen to the fathers of rock, like Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, Fats Domino, Elvis. I like Buddy Holly. I like the Everly Brothers. I like to hear stuff like that through my headphone, because you got to remember they only had 2 tracks to record on, and just the fact that they were able to do that is amazing, and the quality of the music that they put out still lasts today. Imagine if they had 48 tracks. We're talking analog. Yeah. So I mean, they really had to work, especially, and the Phil Spector stuff too. I listen to a lot. So there's a lot of 2-track, 4-track recordings that astounds me, able to produce such a great volume of songs, So that's what I kind of listen to at this moment. And I like to listen to soundtracks of movies. Like Seven Voyages of Sinbad has a great soundtrack. I like to listen to black exploitation movies. I like the soundtrack to Bullet. I like the soundtrack to Plus 110th Street. I like the soundtrack to Shaft. I like the soundtrack to Superfly. So, I've been listening to that 70s stuff for a while, Yeah. And the 50s stuff.
I think that goes without saying. I mean, the Ramones music either echoes or sometimes it does like loving homages to that 50s period, that early
the Joey doo-wop stuff and all that kind of. We were all into the old. And you have the oldies, you have the British invasion, you have the one-hit wonders, and you throw it up in the air, it comes down as an omelet, and you have the Ramones. Sped it up a little, speeding up a little.
Good stuff. So you have the Stone Pony coming up this week, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think Friday.
Okay, Friday. And then Gramercy is?
Gramercy Saturday and the Ardmore Sunday. No, Daryl's Place is Sunday, and the Ardmore is Tuesday.
Yeah, so you have a very busy week ahead of you. So I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and let me get some content up for the show. I'm really excited about it.
Thank you.
If you could give me the elevator pitch on why every Ramones fan needs to get to Ardmore Hall in Philly, what is that pitch?
Well, you're going to hear a band that doesn't have to rely on auto tuning. There's nobody with samples with a keyboard. There's no over-the-top lights where you can't see the band, because a lot of bands don't want you to see them, especially reunion bands that haven't been together for 20 years. So they'll have all these lights, but you can send on the band. We don't do that. We'll have an intro. We'll have some lights, but what you see up there is what you get. Just us, guitar, bass, drums, and vocals.
Very cool. So
40 something songs.
Looking forward to all 40 something songs. So for those of you checking this out, you can actually get tickets still at the Ardmore Hall website. If you plan on going to the Stone Pony or the Gramercy, there are tickets available on those sites as well. You can read more about.
Trying to be quick getting them because I think at one point they might be sold out. So
yeah, let's get a move on that. You can also read about Marky. 2015, he wrote a book about my life as a Ramone. You can check that out as well, and you can also listen to Marky on Sirius XM Radio and on the app. Is there anything I am missing besides the new EPs that are coming out?
No, for now that's enough. That's great. It's been very informative.
Awesome, man. Again, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with us today. We're looking forward to covering the show next week. And listen, thank you for everything you've done for the genre, for music in general. To all of the punks that grew up and had little punkers of our own. It started with the Ramones, and it continues on with the Ramones. And we're looking forward to seeing
they'll never die. They'll never die.
Never die. It just, listen, it changes faces, but the attitude, the genre, the power stays the same.
The energy and the lyrical content appeal to youth.
I didn't find the inner voice of my youth until I heard punk. Punk basically translated the voice inside. You know, like there was a feeling, there was a knot in my esophagus. What was that? And then punk kind of answered that. Oh, you're feeling this. This is the sound of that feeling. I think it was really a cool moment that I think a lot of teenagers, even younger people, go through when they hear punk for the first time. Like this is my childhood, my teenage angst. You know, celebrating.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else. What else is there?
Yeah,
you know what I mean, to really get angry about. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. And
thank you, man. I will see you next Tuesday
at the Ardmore.
Check out MarkyRamone.com, where you can still find tickets available for Marky Ramone's Holiday Blitzkrieg in Asbury Park, New Jersey on Friday, December 8th. On December 9th, Marky Ramone's Holiday Blitzkrieg comes to the Gramercy Theater in New York City. On Sunday, December 10th, Marky Ramone's Holiday Blitzkrieg will be in Pawling, New York. And on Tuesday, December 12th, Marky Ramone's Holiday Blitzkrieg is coming to Ardmore Hall in Ardmore, PA. You can also find a copy of 2015's Punk Rock Blitzkrieg, My Life as a Ramone by Marky Ramone, wherever books are sold. And check out Marky Ramone's First Wave Blitzkrieg on Sirius XM Radio.